Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we are with a very, very special car. Now, by the time you're watching this, the Q&A I made will have been uploaded, so I hope you all enjoyed watching that. And in that video, I mentioned my friend Dal. I'll pop his Instagram in the corner somewhere up there. Now, I have been absolutely dying to film his car. Now, this is the Nissan 370Z, far from stock at the minute. There is plenty of mods and some great spec options that we'll go through. The car is absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. So, the whole point of today's video, I don't really know. I've wanted to film this car for absolutely, well, months, well over a year. And I just couldn't think of an angle, because obviously I don't drive, and the lack of a driving license makes car reviews and car videos about, well, one specific car quite hard to film and really hard to come up with an idea. So we're just going to take this as it comes, sort of go with it and see how this goes. So yes, as I was saying, this is the 2020. So yes, as I was saying, this is the 2010 Nissan 370Z. Now, at the minute, the weather's not great. It's pretty dark and gloomy, so the sun wasn't really going to work in our favour here. But it doesn't really matter, because this car is black, and it is a lovely shade of black. Now, I know what you're thinking, you know, oh, it's a bit of a weird thing to say it's a lovely shade of black, because black is black, but the paint has been kept so well on this car. Mostly to do with the fact that it was wrapped in Tiffany green, blue, whatever you want to call it, for quite a long time, a fair few amount of years, and it looked great. I'll pop a photo up. And because of that wrap, the paint on this car has been looked after so well. Well, not even looked after, it didn't need to, it was protected. And it really shows, and we'll take a look around that now. So yes, as you can see, the car is very well done. We've got full carbon side fenders here, we've got very lovely chrome SSR rims. I haven't got the name of them. Dal, what are the wheels called? SP1s, SSR SP1s, they are absolutely lovely, sitting on some awesome tyres. We've got carbon here, lovely wing, we've got side skirts, rear louvers, the exhaust is very loud, we'll get a sound clip at some point, but yeah, this car is pure perfection. It's incredibly low. It was incredibly hard to drive up here, actually, because we're in a multi-storey car park, if you couldn't tell, and we was planning on filming on the top level, but not doable due to the ride height on this car. I mean, I will try and get my shoe underneath, but I'm sure Dad will kill me if I broke anything. It is absolutely stunning. As I said, we'll take a proper look around now. So yes, as I was saying, these are the SSR SP1s. They costed Dal a pretty penny. I won't say how much, because I don't know. But I'm sure they're worth it. They are worth it. Look at them. The finish on them is amazing. From memory, you ceramic coated them for weeks.
Yeah, a few layers of wall wax, and then a few layers of wall sealant.
A few layers of sealant as well. Yeah.
The other way around, sealant then wax.
Sealant then wax. Well, they look amazing. The finish on them is great. You can see the Tiffany brake calipers from how this car used to look. I'm glad he kept the Tiffany accents. He's also got the bar at the back in full Tiffany. It looks amazing. The centre caps on these wheels, astonishingly hard to get, astonishingly expensive. The weight on those, for whoever you are, whether you want to get them or not, you just won't be able to. So seeing those is incredibly special. The full carbon fender up here looks immense. The finish is crazy. Yeah, you just can't beat it on a black car as well. That subtle carbon finish is nuts, and I love the Z indicators here. I believe when you press the key, the Z swipes. I can't quite explain it, but it looks great. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is these upgraded headlights. Now these are full LED with some amazing looks when you unlock the car, turn the car on, indicate, all the effects are awesome. The background on these headlights is black, which is a massive upgrade over the stock car that has a silvery, whitey sort of colour, very bright and takes away from the stealthed out look of this car. I just really think that for a 2010 car, these lights give it a whole new lease of life. I just think that they modernise it so much, it just brings the car together. So next up we have the rear of the car. Now overall this isn't too modified looking on first glance anyway, but we have this little roof spoiler here, which I think just ties the whole back together because the Z has quite a large rear glass. Some people go for plastic sort of louvers, some people go for things like that. I think just this small little spoiler is great. We've got a rear wiper delete, which is awesome. Can never complain about that. This wing isn't Nismo itself, but it looks like the Nismo wing. We're a little bit higher, a little bit wider. Overall, just making the car look a lot more aggressive from the rear. We have these plastic pieces here. They look great. We've got a Nismo rear bumper. It just overall, it just makes the car look great. We've got chrome badges, chrome tips to match the chrome wheels. You can't complain about that. And we'll talk about the exhaust now. What are we talking about the exhaust?
So the exhaust is a back box delete, short tails, then running a 3-inch Cobra wide pipe and Burke's high flow force cats. Didn't really want to go D-cats because they get really raspy. Alright.
Does it ever end?
No.
How much exhaust could you possibly have under there?
Well, there's a lot less.
Never ending list.
That multi-story car park. I've left half of it on that slope. But
we've got a little bit less exhaust than what we arrived with due to the ramps on the car park. But yeah, this thing has, as you heard, a huge list of things done to the exhaust to make it such a unique sound, to get rid of some of that raspiness that the Z comes with. It sounds the nuts. We'll get it started up. Is that all right? Yeah, we'll get it started up and we'll hear it on idle, and then we'll probably get some driving clips at some point as well. But what a sound! So this would not be proper car video without going into the interior on this lovely, lovely car. So the Z comes stock with already an amazing steering wheel, big, nice, proper flappy pedals attached to here as opposed to the steering wheel, which I prefer personally. Don't know about you. We've got plenty of carbon inside on the center console. Over here, there's probably a few other bits that I'm missing. Up here, down here, on the gauge cluster, there's a lot. We've got lots of Alcantara here on the doors, over on there. It's just a lovely, lovely place to be. We've got these nice aluminium finish pedals that continues on to round the air vents, onto the door handles, round the gauges again. Looks great. Push to start, stop, can't complain about that. This car's full automatic, as I said, with the paddles. We've got a GTR gear selector, which might annoy some people, but I'm a big fan. The Recaro pole positions, a great seat, although the seatbelt might be a bit protruding when you get in or out of the car. We've got the Tiffany wrapped bar at the back, as I said previously. It's just a lovely place to be. One day he will let me drive it. No, I was going to say that, but one day he will, and there will be a big video on that about the crash that happened in Essex in a 370Z. So there is one obvious factor on this car that we haven't really touched on too much yet, which is the suspension setup. Now this is on BC Racing coilovers, but my knowledge on the suspension after that is sort of out the window. But as you can see, I'll just try and get my finger in there. That sort of gives an idea as to what we're working with fitment wise. It's the exact same on the front, which we'll take a look at. But Dal, could you tell us a bit more about what you've done and what the car's running?
It took a lot of tweaking to get me happy with how the car sits. Once I put these wheels on, the spacers needed a little bit of playing around with width-wise because the offset wasn't quite as low as I'd hoped. Coilovers are dropped down to nothing too silly. I still want the car to be drivable to a certain extent. Yeah. But we're running about 5.5 degrees of camber on the front and about 3.5 on the rear. I know there's people out there that are going to go, "What are you doing? You're ruining the car," and stuff like that.
Of course, there always is.
It's not what I bought this car for. I like driving around in it, cruising with mates, going to pub meets and to shows and turning up to family functions looking like the disappointment in the family.
Of course.
But I didn't want to go too extreme that your car was undrivable, but this is a happy medium in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. It's 100% a happy medium. And I think what Dale said there is very important, that at the end of the day, it's his car and this is how he wanted it. And I think he's done an excellent job. I don't know about you lot, but I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. So, one thing we haven't spoken much about on this car is the power. So the car has had a slight remap, what some people might call stage 1 or stage 2. It's actually a stage 5.5. It's running a whole 305 horsepower. Power, what is going on under the bonnet? Now this is a 3.7 litre V6. The 370, of course, that is what it's alluding to. Some people may think it's the horsepower, but it isn't. This car does have a slight remap and a few little bits and bobs done. It is running at 350 horsepower. Now it's obvious with this build, if you could work it out already, that was not chasing power here. There is not a screamer sticking out the bonnet, a huge turbo under there. There is not exhaust shooting flames out the side. This is not one of those motorway killers in Mexico. It doesn't do that. This is a very clean build that is running just enough power to have fun with. It goes enough. It goes well. You know, we've only ever done 30, but it is
Plus 10%.
Sorry.
Plus 10%.
Plus 10%, of course. It drives phenomenally, so I've heard. It sounds great while it does it, and it moves fine. It does well in the twisties. It's just fine on straights, and you do get to scare a few people on downshifts if you're lucky. So, before the end of this video, we are going to take this out of this multi-storey car park, if we can make it without ripping any bumpers or side skirts off, and we will hear this thing on the go and see it on the move. Now, I do have to mention, the reason why this thing isn't running 10,000 brake horsepower with 5 turbochargers is because Dale has a track car. That is what that is for. If you do want to see a video on that, let us know. I'll pop a photo of it somewhere, wherever there is room for me to do so. And yeah, if you guys want to see a video on that track car, do let me know, because that thing is just as mental, if not more mental, than this build. You wouldn't think so, but it is. So yeah, we'll get onto that now, and you can hear this thing scream. So everyone, thank you very much for watching. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's gotten a bit dark, but I hope you enjoyed the videos of the car driving. I know it sounded amazing, and I'm sure I'll watch it back in the editing and be just as amazed as you all are, because this thing is nothing but special. The way it sounds, the way it looks, it's been such a pleasure to film. And I want to say thank you to Dale for taking me out this evening and letting me film a video so I can show you all just what an amazing car this is. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I think in terms of the value of this car, from looking on Auto Trader, £15,000 to £20,000 depending on mileage and age and a bunch of other variables like that. I really do think that for the money, you just cannot do better. It is such a bargain and really underrated, I think. So yeah, I really do think this is a bargain. Thank you all for watching. I'll wrap it up there, and yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks again, guys. See ya.